people. EsskimoColdBeats.com, GetRichRapping.com. The reason I'm parked on my driveway is because I just got some stuff going on in my house. It's not the best environment to record a video in, so I thought I'd just come chill out here. This is going to be a long one. This is for people who are serious. People who would rather spend 20 minutes listening to someone who's done some good things and could give you some great advice. I mean, if you're distracted by what's going on, if you've got a game to catch or a video game to play or some ratchet shit to do, feel free to exit the video now. We're going to take our time with this one. If you really want to step your game up, you're here for the ride. Okay. So let me just give you a brief backstory about me, right? I did the math the other day. I wasn't sure how long I've been producing. So I went and looked at my last track that I made as a rapper. Because when I started making beats, I just stopped rapping just because I was bored of rapping. I did it for 10 years. But that was 10 months ago. So I started making beats 10 months ago. I've already got a catalogue of 120 beats. Within 2 months of making beats, I was selling beats consistently. I was the top newcomer producer 3 times in the whole world on one of the top 3 biggest and most known beat selling sites. So understand that I know my shit, I'm pretty good at what I do, I can definitely help you out. Started focusing on giving artists advice. Now, it's essentially the same thing. People selling beats and people selling music or promoting or marketing or whatever. It's essentially all the same thing. The only thing that changes is the product. My product is beats. Your product is music. And that's the thing. You've got to start sort of, once you get to a certain level of artistry and you're ready to push forward with all this stuff, you've got to start looking at your stuff like a product and start looking at how you would market a product. There's not as much information out there about music selling as there is product selling. If you learn how to sell products in general, you are going to learn how to sell your music also. So, as well as me, there's mentors out there that you can go out there that aren't quite specific, that where I've got my techniques from. All my techniques are mostly from people who aren't even in this industry, because it's all about having your own brand of marketing. Everything I do, everything I say, that is marketing. Everything you do and everything you say, whether or not you know it, that's branding and marketing. Which is why if you're out there just talking some shit, fuck all the haters, or check out my chain, all this shit, that is when people ain't gonna fuck with you. In 2014, especially when people are starting to wake up to all the bullshit, there are far more important things in life than your chain, your swag level, and all that bullshit. So I want to kind of teach you a new way of looking at things and just the way you deal with things. So let me just keep on from where I was and sort of just explain to you a little bit more about how everything you do and say is marketing. Now, everything that you put out reaches someone. That could be one person, that could be 1,000 people. But it reaches someone. Literally, every single word you say as someone who's trying to get somewhere, someone remembers it. So like I say, if you're out there putting all this ratchet shit out, people aren't going to see you as a professional. It's the same with your music. If you're putting out music that just isn't cut in the grade, it doesn't matter if you get to a point where you're making all this like studio quality proper stuff. All the people that heard you back in the day aren't going to give you a chance now, because they remembered the first impression of you was an unprofessional person who wasn't putting professional music out. So they won't even take that time to check you out. So it's all about, don't take too much time that you start losing time, but take enough time in your artistry and what you're doing to make sure that everything's on point. There's no do-overs, you can't go back. You cannot make progress trying to go backwards. So you've always got to be moving forwards. So move forward with shit that makes sense. So I made a video earlier about mixtapes. You should be looking at putting projects out. Everybody out there is just putting solo tracks out. And when you're making these projects, don't be like a big thing to me is what you name stuff. Like, if you name a track like I Make Money, or I don't know, just like In the Club, or some basic ass shit, guess what people think before clicking on that? It's a basic ass song. But if you just put like some sort of adjectives or it's called copy, right? It's ad copy. It's writing things online or naming things online that are going to get attention. This is where marketing comes into everything that you put out. People aren't going to click on your stuff if it doesn't look interesting, if your explanation of the thing isn't interesting. So really, you need to be focusing on little details like that. Now, I could give you examples, but what's the point in that? I want you to ask yourselves the questions before you name the track, before you write the hook, if you're naming it after the hook. What am I going to say in this hook that will make the song title good? Because let's be honest, like I was saying earlier, 2014, everybody's waking up, everybody's seeing it for what it is. Now is the perfect time to come with something different. You know, like, women are at the top of the rap game now. You know, there's a few names out there that are killing it more than a lot of men. No one ever thought that would happen. You've got openly gay rappers out there doing their thing. Who would have ever thought that happened? Nothing that you do now is too crazy for the market. Nothing. Do anything you want to do, except be a dickhead, which is what a lot of people are doing. Also, it's time to invest if you're a serious artist. But this is what we've got to gauge. This is what we've got to work out before we go forward on anything. Are you serious? Deep down in your heart and soul, serious. You can tell everybody else you're serious if you want, but it boils down to whether or not you believe that you're serious. And you cannot lie to your own heart. Your heart will always tell you, no, I'm not. If you're saying you are, but you're not. Excuse me. But if you're serious, you're not serious until you're investing money. And you might think that all these free opportunities that you're getting from places is all good, but let me tell you something. Until I put a penny in my music, before I put any money in my music, I didn't make any progress. The second I was like, right, I'm going to pay money to join the beat selling squad. I'm going to pay money for my website. I'm going to pay money for this. I'm going to pay money for this promotion, this advertising here. Now, I know what it is. You think, what if I don't make the money back? But what if you do make the money back? And that's how you need to be thinking. Not even what if, you just do it with faith. Yes, I'm going to make this money back and then some to make it more. Sometimes you don't even have to make all the money back if the position that the investment puts you in is worth more money in the long run. And this is the thing with sticking at things, because like a lot of people I know, and I used to be the same, where it's kind of like, if you're not going to see results from it within the next week, you don't want to do it. But you've got to adapt a long-term mindset towards it. Next week doesn't matter. Like, the week after doesn't matter. Even a year from now or 5 years from now, all that stuff doesn't matter. Like, just focus on right now and just keep in the back of your mind where you're going to be, and believe in it so much that it makes people sick when you talk about it. I know when I if I run into someone I haven't seen for a while, they're like, what have you been up? I'll say, oh, what have you been doing? And they'll be like, oh, nothing much, man, nothing. And then they ask me, what have you been doing? And I'm like, well, I've been selling beats, I've been flying over the world, or like over to America, I've been this, that, I've established 2 brands, I've just started a blog, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and they're all looking at me like they're sick. Like they're sick of, they want me to stop talking, but I still have more to tell them from the stuff I'm doing. And that's how it should be. I think that you should always be looking for the step forward, have a long-term plan, a mid-term plan, a short-term plan, and everything. Write all these things down. When it's on paper, it just feels a little bit more official. Another thing is, like, you've got to be developing this fan base. You've got to be doing things for these fans that are going to turn them from fans to supporters, because there's a big difference between fans and supporters. I may like your music, I may be a fan, but if I don't like you, I'm not supporting that shit. What makes me not like you? An attitude like you're too good for people, an attitude like you're doing way more than people. If you're doing more than people, feel free to say I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but don't be like I'm doing this and that and you ain't doing shit, because you're not going to get supporters that way. You may get fans, but the idea is supporters, because supporters are the ones that share your music, like your stuff, that spread it by word of mouth. Fans are just people that'll listen to your song and move on. So differentiate between who is your fan and who is your supporter, and do everything for your supporters. Do everything for, like, make it noticeable to everybody else, the extra things that you do for your supporters. The more you do for your supporters, the more other people watching are like, oh damn, I want those extra things, I want those bonuses. How do I get all that shit? I support that person. It's giving people reason to get behind your movement. What will they get from you that they won't get from anybody else? And that goes the same for producers who are trying to sell beats also, because like say with your customers, I don't like to label them, I don't like to label anyone anything, but that I see them more as partners, because the whole time we're building together, I don't just sell them beats and tell them to go on with themselves and go do their own thing. Like, I'll stick with them every step of the way. They got a question, they come to me. If they want a bit of extra promotion, they come to me. If they want to go on the blog on getrichrapping.com, come to me. That's what I do that not every producer's doing. There's so many producers out there that are just like, yo, bruh, new beat. I'm not telling I'm rarely posting my beats up. I'm rarely posting music anyway. I understand marketing. I understand attraction marketing. I do so much on the side that people can't help but come and ask me about my beats, because it says EsskimoColdBeats on my Facebook, on my Twitter, on everything. They're like, what, he makes beats? But I thought he was, oh, let me hear if he does all this so well, let me check out his beats. You've already got their interest. You've already done stuff for them before you've even tried to get a sale out of them. And that's the thing, stop trying to get sales out of people. This is for the producers more than anything. Stop trying to get sales out of people. It's just not going to happen. Do you well, and people will turn up. Because no matter what type of beat you make, there's that type of rapper online. And don't get misguided by all these people, all these producers out there that aren't selling. So they're saying like, yo bruh, nobody buys beats, everybody wants free beats. I got a page with my stats from my flash store that will tell you very different. I know there's a few people in the squad that can tell you very different. I know a lot of producers that aren't even in the squad can tell you very different. People are definitely buying beats. It's just the professional people aren't. And if you're not professional, you're not going to run into the professional people, because the professionals recognise professionals. They know when you're making a mistake, when you're being a fool about it instantly, because they've been unprofessional, they've been and they've learned from their mistakes. So going forward, they've learned how to be a professional, how to market your stuff properly. It's a lot deeper than what normal human perception would take. It's a lot of psychology. It's a lot of all the marketing and promotion information. Like I say, go read up on that stuff, because regardless of whether you're trying to do music, regardless of whether you're trying to sell clothes, whatever your business is, you need to be going out there and finding out what this is. These marketing and promotion ideas and stuff, like, they apply to everything that you want to do. I believe that if you become a good marketer, you can do anything in the world, because you know how to market yourself to employers. You know how to go out there and go anywhere and speak to any person and market yourself. You will essentially be able to make friends, like the best friends that anybody could ask for off being a marketer. You could do anything off marketing. Basically, anybody out there who is like good at marketing is good at everything in life. because they just understand people. And that's what you need to do, is not take people for granted. Understand people, understand everyone individually as well as a whole, because everyone's different. And that's what it is when you're talking to people you're trying to either sell beats to or sell your mixtapes to or just build with, is you've got to understand them. You've got to not change yourself to be like them, but just appeal to them. Because at the end of the day, when you're doing the back and forth with a person, you've got to let them know that you are serious about this conversation with them and want to see results with them, and you've got to genuinely mean it. Because on a daily basis we all deal with frauds, we all deal with people who are doing it big, who aren't doing anything, no visible results. Here's my thing, and this was definitely something I wasn't sure what I was going to touch on in this video, but this was definitely one thing. It's like people who are talking all this, oh, let success make the noise, don't say anything blah, 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 about being successful, and just trying to swag it like they're not talking about their results because they're killing in silence. Let me tell you, they're full of shit. Because anybody who's good at marketing or successful knows that you can leverage your success to get more success. You can leverage all the sales you've made to get more sales. You can leverage all the fans that you've built up to get more fans. Do you understand what I'm saying? Every producer that I know for a fact is selling beats and doing well is out there telling, not bragging about it, but just saying, oh, Buzzin just made a sale, or Buzzin just checked my stats, I've sold 100 beats this month. You know, it's not a bragging thing, it's just leverage. It's just like, here's my proof that I'm actually doing it, and that proof is going to be like, okay, this person's serious, let me fuck with them. So all these people who are sending indirect statuses and shit about people who are talking about their results or whatever, they're not getting results if they're being bitchy and being all this real G's move in silence about, okay, on the street, whatever, but this ain't the street, this is online, this is music. If people aren't leveraging results, it's because they're not getting results. Just wanted to clear that up. But it's really time to start looking at your movement in a completely different way to how you have been, right? You need to make a decision. Like, everything that I've talked about is stuff I've decided to learn. Some of this stuff that I've learned on accident, but has helped me on the way. It's not stuff I necessarily planned to learn, but in what I've planned to learn, this is sort of meshed well with it. So if you haven't made a decision yet, you will never ever be successful. If you haven't decided what house you're going to live in, what country you're going to live in, what your life's going to be like, if you haven't decided that yet, you cannot have it. You can't just wander aimlessly and hope to do well. That is never going to happen for you. You have to make a decision. I hope you can make one off this video, just from me giving you some game, telling you how I've sort of dealt with how everything's gone as time's gone by. And all of this in 10 months. All of this in 10 months. There are people who've been trying to do this for 3, 4 years, 5, 6 years, that would love to be in a position that I'm at right now. And that's not bragging, this is just what it is. I'm trying to give people the game. They won't recognise it. I guess people think I'm trying to sell stuff all the time, but here's my thing. I'd love for everybody, I'd love to change the world. I would love for everybody to understand this world and understand how it works and be successful. That is what I want. If I make a few sales out of doing these videos, buzzing. Wicked. If I get a few views on the blog, I'm happy. But what makes me most happy is to see people that have clearly watched one of my videos or commented and then gone away, and I see them applying these things and doing well. That is my reward. Money is, I could go somewhere and make some money now. Like, money's whatever. Money's paper or numbers on a laptop. You understand? So for me, the reward is being able to help people out. Some of the things I use to help people out, I put a price tag on, because I'm doing so much that I warrant being paid now. I've paid my dues, I've done the hard work, I warrant being paid. But it's not the be-all and end-all, and I hope that people don't think I'm always trying to sell something. I'm just telling you the world as I see it. If I make a few sales along the way, happy days. But that's my idea, attraction marketing. I'm out there doing stuff that makes people come to me. I'm not out there chasing after people like, yo bro, buy my beats, buy my beats, buy my beats. Ain't working, ain't ever worked, will never work. And I just hope people start to understand that if you carry on behaving in this ratchet way, before you know it, you're going to be 30, 40, 50, 60, dead. Nothing. Didn't do anything. So, there's no better time, if you haven't already, than making a decision right now and changing your life and changing the whole game with it. Eskimo Cold, EsskimoColdBeats.com, get rich rapping. We are at 20 minutes and 43 seconds. It's been emotional. Peace.